Everyone around you is using AI. They use it to write their emails, to plan their meals, to make decisions they used to make themselves. And yet, you refuse. You look at these tools and something inside you says, no, not for me. If that sounds like you, stay until the end. Because psychology has a lot to say about the kind of person you are. Right now, we are living through the biggest shift in how humans use their brains in decades. Psychologists call it cognitive offloading, and it means letting an external tool do the mental work for you. We have always done this to some degree. We write things down so we do not have to memorize them. We use calculators instead of doing math in our heads. But AI takes this to a completely different level. It does not just store information for you. It thinks for you. It makes decisions for you. It creates for you. And most people have welcomed this with open arms. But not you. The first trait that people who reject AI tend to share is a high need for cognitive autonomy. This means you genuinely enjoy the process of thinking. You do not just want the answer, you want to find the answer yourself. A study published in the journal Societies in 2025 found that people who scored high on independent thinking were significantly less likely to rely on AI tools, even when those tools would have saved them time. They were not being stubborn. They simply got psychological satisfaction from using their own mind. For you, the act of thinking is the point. And letting an AI do it for you feels like letting someone else eat your meal. The second trait is something called metacognitive awareness. This is a fancy way of saying you think about how you think. Most people never question their own thought process. They just accept whatever answer feels convenient. But you are different. You notice when your brain is being lazy. You notice when you are taking a shortcut. And when AI offers you that shortcut, you recognize it for what it is, a way to skip the mental effort that actually makes you sharper. Research published in Frontiers, in Psychology, found that people with strong metacognitive skills were far less likely to engage in cognitive offloading. They instinctively protected their own cognitive development. Without even knowing the science behind it, you have been doing this all along. The third trait is a low conformity drive. The majority of people adopt new technology because everyone else is doing it. There is enormous social pressure to keep up. When your coworkers use AI, when your friends use it, when the entire internet tells you that you are falling behind if you do not use it, most people cave. But you do not. And this is not random. People who resist AI tend to score high on what psychologists call independent self-construal. You define yourself by your own standards, not by what the crowd is doing. You have an internal compass that does not get easily overridden by social pressure. This same trait, by the way, shows up in people who do not use social media, who choose to walk their own path even when everyone else is scrolling. Here is something that might surprise you. A major study of over 600 participants found that people who used AI tools less frequently had measurably stronger critical thinking abilities. Not slightly stronger, significantly stronger. The researchers discovered that younger people who relied heavily on AI scored lowest on critical thinking assessments, while those who did their own cognitive work scored highest. Now, here is the key insight. The people who avoided AI did not have better critical thinking because they were inherently smarter. They had better critical thinking because they kept exercising that mental muscle. Your brain works like any other muscle. If you stop using it, it weakens. And by refusing to hand your thinking over to AI, you have been doing cognitive strength training, whether you realized it or not. The fifth trait is a high tolerance for mental effort. This one sounds simple, but it is actually quite rare. Most people instinctively seek the path of least resistance. If there is a faster, easier way to do something, they will take it. AI is the ultimate path of least resistance. It removes the effort from almost everything. But you are comfortable with effort. In fact, you might even prefer it. Psychologists call this having a high need for cognition. It means you are drawn to complex problems. You enjoy mental challenges. Where other people feel drained by deep thinking, you feel energized by it. You would rather spend 2 hours figuring something out yourself than get the answer in 2 seconds. And that, according to the research, is an extraordinarily rare trait in the modern world. Now, let me be clear about something important. Refusing to use AI does not make you a technophobe. It does not mean you are stuck in the past or that you are afraid of change. What it means, according to the psychology, is that you instinctively value something that most people are giving away without a second thought: the ability to think independently. You are not anti-technology. You are pro-brain. In a world that is rapidly outsourcing its thinking, its creativity, its decision-making to machines, you are one of the few who said, "I would rather keep that for myself." And that is not a weakness. Psychologically speaking, that is a genuine strength. So if you have ever felt out of place because everyone around you is embracing AI, and you just cannot bring yourself to do the same, now you understand why. It is not stubbornness. It is not fear. It is your brain protecting what makes it strong. And in a few years, when the research becomes even clearer about what we lose when we stop thinking for ourselves, the rest of the world might finally understand what you already knew. If this video resonated with you, subscribe to Psychology Untangled. We make videos about the psychology behind the things that make you, you. See you in the next one.